Beloved one, I am Archangel Michael, and I am speaking to you with clarity, protection, and truth. Let the room go quiet for a moment because I am speaking, and today my voice does not come softly. You did not arrive at these words by chance. You are hearing this message because you need to stop, listen, and examine the road before you. I have come as a messenger and protector to remind you of what is right, to strengthen you when you are weak, and to call you back toward the light when you have begun to drift. You did not arrive at these words by chance. You did not wander here. I brought you, and I brought you now because there is something I will not let you carry one more day without hearing me say it out loud. Something happened. You know what it is. You have not said it to anyone, and you have worked hard to keep it that way. But heaven is not a place where things go unnoticed. And I am not a distant watcher who shrugs at the choices of the ones I love. I saw it. I saw the whole of it. The part you did and the part you told yourself did not count. Hear me carefully because the tone of my voice is going to matter to you. I am not angry at you. I am angry at the road. There is a difference. And if you miss it, you will spend this whole hour defending yourself instead of listening. Before you continue reading this message, God wants to remind you of His word in Deuteronomy 14 verse 22, be sure to set aside 1/10 of all that your fields produce each year. I am the Lord your God. Everything in heaven and on earth belongs to me. I call upon you today to honor my commandment, sow a seed of 10% of all that you earn this month, into this ministry. The link is pinned in the description below where you can support this ministry and sow your seed. Do not withhold what is holy to me. Bring your tithes to advance my kingdom and rescue lost souls. Step out in faith and obey my voice, for every seed you sow in my name will not be forgotten, and your reward shall be great in heaven for eternity. Sow your 10% seed today, right at this moment, my beloved chosen one. If you have obeyed God's command and sown your 10% seed today, reply with, I have sown, in the comments section below. My displeasure is aimed at the direction you started walking, not at the one who is walking. You are still mine. You are still chosen. And you are still standing close enough to my voice that I can call you back before the distance gets wide. Let me tell you how I know you have not forgotten it. Since that day, something inside you has not settled. You have gone about your ordinary hours. You have spoken to people. You have laughed at the right places. And underneath all of it, there has been a weight that will not lift. You have blamed it on tiredness. You have blamed it on the pressure you are under. You have told yourself it will pass on its own. It was not tiredness. That unease was mine. I put it there on purpose. It is not there to torment you, and it is not there to make you hate yourself. It is a signal. The same way pain in the body tells a person that something needs attention. I did not send it to punish you. I sent it so you would stop and look. But instead of looking, you turned up the noise. You filled your hours with anything that would keep your mind busy. You stayed near people who would never ask you a hard question. You avoided the quiet because in the quiet you can hear me, and you were not ready to hear me. That is what troubles me more than the choice itself. The choice was one moment. The silencing has gone on for weeks. I want you to understand what I mean when I say this was seen. There was a king who took what was not his and arranged his life so that no one would ever know. He went back to his throne. He judged other men's cases. He held his position as though nothing had happened. And I sent Nathan to stand in front of him and say 4 words that undid everything he had built around his secret. You are the man. I did not send that prophet to end him. I sent him to save him because a covered thing does not heal. There was another who heard my calling and got on a ship going the other way. He paid. If this message is speaking to your heart, pause for a moment and comment the divine number 111 as a sign that you are choosing clarity, courage, and a new direction. The Fair himself. He went below deck and slept. And the sleep of a man running from me is never rest. The storm that found him was not my rejection. It was my pursuit. I would rather shake the sea than let him sail quietly into a life I never meant for him. That is what this is. This is the storm and the prophet and the hand on your shoulder all at once, not to end you, to stop you. You have been telling yourself that what you did was small. Let me answer that honestly. The act may have been small. The direction was not. A road that bends by 1 degree looks almost straight at the start, and 100 miles later it has taken you somewhere you never chose. I am not correcting the step. I am correcting the bend while it is still 1 degree. I know why you did it. I want you to hear that because you have been bracing for me to accuse you, and I am not going to. I know the pressure you were under. I know what you were afraid of losing. I know how tired you were of waiting for me to move. And I know the moment when you decided you would just handle it yourself. I saw the whole chain of it. None of it surprised me. And none of it changed what I feel toward you. But knowing why you did it does not mean I will pretend it did not happen. Love that only comforts is not love. A parent who never corrects is not kind, only absent. I am speaking sharply because I am close, not because I am far. Here is what is at stake, and I want you to hold this without flinching. There is something I have been preparing for you. You have prayed about it. You have spoken of it out loud only a handful of times, and only to me. It has not been taken from you. Hear that clearly. It has not been given to someone else, and it has not been cancelled. But it is waiting on a road you are not currently walking, and I will not carry it over to where you are, because where you are is not a place I want you to stay. So this is not the sound of a door closing. This is the sound of a door still open with a voice on the other side of it telling you to move while there is time. Doors do not stay open forever. Not because I grow impatient, but because a heart that ignores my voice enough times stops being able to hear it. And I am telling you plainly that yours has already begun to grow harder to reach. You felt something when I said that. Do not push it down. That is not fear. That is your own spirit agreeing with me. Say your amen out loud if these words are finding you where you actually live. There is more I need to show you, and some of it will be harder to hear than what I have said so far. I'm going to take you back to where this actually began, because it did not begin where you think it did. It did not begin with what you did. It began much earlier, in a place no one else could see. In a room in your mind where you let something sit down and make itself comfortable. Stay with me. Do not go anywhere. What I am about to say is the part that sets you free. It did not begin with your hands. It began with your thoughts. Long before you acted, you allowed something to sit down inside your mind and stay. If these divine messages and guidance from God and Archangel Michael bring peace, light, and protection to your life, and you wish to support our mission, you can express your gratitude by giving a special thanks or contribution of up to $444. You knew it did not come from me. You recognize that if you are still listening and this part feels meant for you, comment the divine number 222 to mark this moment of reflection and renewed strength. Moment had arrived because you have walked with me long enough to know the difference between my voice and a voice that only sounds it. But instead of turning it out, you let it talk. You gave it a chair. And a thing that is given a chair will eventually ask for the house. At first, it seemed harmless. You told yourself you were only considering it. You told yourself that thinking about a thing is not the same as doing it. And in one sense, you were right. But every action any person has ever taken was first rehearsed somewhere quiet. What you keep turning over in your mind is what you are slowly agreeing to. I warned about this long ago through a wise man who said to guard your heart above everything because everything you do flows out of it. That was not a poem. That was a warning about doors. Here is what troubles me most. You did not miss my warnings. You received them and set them aside. Think back. There was a hesitation, a pause you could not explain. Right before you moved, something in you slowed down and said, "Wait." And you could not point to a reason. So, you decided there was not one. That pause was me. I did not shout at you because I do not need to shout to be heard by someone who is listening. I spoke the way I spoke to Elijah in the cave after the wind and the earthquake and the fire had all passed by. Not in the roar, in the low, quiet voice that only reaches a person who has gone still. You were not still, so you pushed past it. Then there was a second time. A conversation you should have ended and did not. A place you should not have gone back to. A message you should have left unanswered. Each time the pause came, it came a little fainter because a signal ignored grows quieter. That is not me withdrawing. That is what happens to any sense that is not used. The eye adjusts to dim light and forgets what bright looked. Your spirit did the same thing. And that is how a person who once flinched at something ends up shrugging at it. I am not telling you this to shame you. Shame is not correction. Shame tells you that you are the problem and it leaves you sitting in the dirt too heavy to stand. Correction tells you that your direction is the problem and it puts a hand under your arm and lifts. Regret can teach you. Shame will only trap you. One will move you forward. The other will keep you exactly where you are while pretending to be holiness. Do not confuse them. And do not let anything convince you that staying low is the same as being sorry. Now let me say something that goes deeper than the act itself. Because if I only correct the surface, the same thing will come back wearing a different face. What happened was not only disobedience. It was distrust. In that moment, you believed your own judgment more than mine. You looked at your situation. You looked at how long you had been waiting. And you decided that my way would not get you there. So you took a shortcut. You thought your understanding would protect you better than my guidance would. That is the route. And until it is dealt with, every branch will grow back. I told my people once to trust me with all their heart and not to lean on their own understanding. I did not say that because human thinking is worthless. I gave you your mind. I said it because your view is small and mine is not. You can see the corner. I can see the whole road. If you feel that you are being called to leave an old pattern behind, comment the divine number 333 as a simple declaration that you are ready to move forward. When you lean on what you can see, you will always build for the corner and be surprised by the turn. There was a king who was given a clear instruction before a battle and carried out most of it. Most. He kept back the best of what he was told to destroy. And when the prophet came to him, he was standing there full of explanation. He said he had obeyed. He said the people made him do it. He said the part he kept was going to be used for worship anyway. And he was told the thing I want you to hear now. Obedience matters more to me than offering. Partial obedience is not obedience. It is negotiation. If these divine messages and guidance from God and Archangel Michael bring peace, light, and protection to your life, and you wish to support our mission, you can express your gratitude by giving a special thanks or contribution of up to $444. You have been negotiating with me, not out loud, but in the small print of your choices, you have been keeping back a portion and calling the rest surrender. If you are ready to stop hiding, let me hear you say it. Amen. I am not asking you for perfection. Hear me. I have never asked any person for perfection, and I did not start with you. What I am asking for is honesty. Bring it into the open. Say it plainly without softening the edges. Without the version you have practiced where it sounds smaller than it was. A thing that stays hidden keeps its power. A thing brought into the light loses it. That is not a punishment. That is how healing has always worked. And when you bring it, you will not find what you are expecting. You have been imagining a courtroom. You have been rehearsing your defense. But the father in the story did not wait at the gate with a list. He saw his child while that child was still a long way off, and he ran. The son had a speech prepared and never got to finish it. That is what is waiting for you, and it has been waiting the entire time you have been hiding. There is mercy here. Not because you have earned it back, and not because enough time has passed. Because of who I am toward you, but mercy that is offered and not taken does nothing. And I am telling you that the time to take it is now, while your heart is soft and your mind is awake. Delay does not keep the offer warm. Delay only makes the same step harder to take tomorrow than it is today. So do not harden yourself against this. Do not tell yourself I must be speaking to someone else. You knew this was for you before I was 3 sentences in. Now that you have turned, there is work to do, and I will not pretend otherwise. Turning back to me is the beginning, not the whole of it. A person can be sorry and still be standing in the same room that made them sorry. Repentance is not only a feeling in the chest. It is a change of address. It means you stop returning to the place where the thing happened, and you stop keeping company with what caused it. And you do that even when it costs you something. There is something in your life right now that has to be released. You know exactly what I am naming. It might be a habit that has quietly become a comfort. It might be a way of thinking about yourself that you have carried so long you mistake it for truth. It might be a connection with someone who has never once pushed you toward what is good. You have felt the pull to let it go before more than once. And each time you found a reason to keep it a little longer. That hesitation is the delay you have been praying against. You have been asking me to open something new while you're. If these words are helping you recognize what needs to change, comment the divine number 444 and let that number represent protection, stability, and courage in your journey. Hands are still full. I do not force my provision into a space that is already occupied. I will not overwrite what you are choosing. You must decide what stays and what goes. And until you do, the room stays as it is. My child, I am asking you to place a portion of what you have, something of real weight, upon the altar of this work, as gold laid on the scales of this calling. Let it be a seed SWN into deep water, an offering set on stone, not held back in fear. This is proof that your trust rests in my hand to provide, and that your heart no longer clings to lack. What you release in faith does not leave your life. It moves ahead of you into the harvest I am preparing. Letting go has always been the hard part. And I have never asked anyone to do it without going before them. A widow in a time of famine had enough flour for one last meal, and I asked her for it first. That sounds cruel until you see what happened next, because the jar she emptied never ran dry again. As long as the drought lasted, she did not lose her last meal. She traded it for a supply she could not have arranged for herself. That is what release looks in my hands. And when you set something down for me, you must set it down completely. Half a letting go is not a letting go. There were people I led out of slavery who spent the whole journey talking about the food they had left behind. They walked toward freedom with their hearts still facing backward. And that is why a journey of days took them years. Do not do that. Do not release the thing and then keep visiting it in your mind. I want you to understand what boundaries actually are, because you have been treating them as though they are punishment. A boundary is not me taking something from you. A boundary is a wall built around something worth protecting. There are conversations you should not enter. There are rooms you should not walk into, even for a good reason, even for a short while. There are people whose company you have to limit. Not because they are worthless, but because of who you become when you are with them. You have known this for a long time. You ignored it because saying no felt harder in the moment than saying yes. Let me correct one more idea you have been living by. You have been trying to hold your ground by sheer effort. You grit your teeth and decide you will simply be stronger next time. And it works for a while until you are tired or lonely or under pressure, and then it does not work at all. Willpower is a rope that holds until the weight increases. You were never meant to hang from it. Strength that lasts does not come from deciding harder. It comes from staying near me. A branch does not produce fruit by straining. It produces fruit by remaining attached. The moment it is cut off, it may look green for a day or two, but the outcome is already settled. You have been trying to bear fruit while quietly detaching and then wondering why everything felt so heavy. So come close again and be deliberate about it. This does not happen by accident, and it does not happen because you meant to. Make room in your day where there is nothing else and let it be quiet. Speak to me without editing yourself. Tell me the ugly part first. You are not informing me of anything I do not already know. And you are not risking my affection. What you are doing is agreeing with me about your own. If you are choosing to release what has been weighing on you, comment the divine number 555 and take this moment as a reminder that change can begin with one honest decision. Life. And that agreement is where clarity begins to return, and listen for correction as well as comfort. Many come to me only for the soft word. And when I say something firm, they decide it must not have been me. I am both. I am the messenger who strengthens you and points you back toward healing, and I am the one who says do not go back there. If you only receive half of my voice, you will only ever get half of my guidance, and half of my guidance will not keep you. Watch what you allow into your mind and where you spend your time, because those two things are shaping you whether you notice or not. Nothing that fills your attention is neutral. Everything either feeds your spirit or drains it. And the drain is always slow enough to be deniable. That is why you must be honest with yourself about what your ordinary days are actually made of. You're not being asked to become a different person. You're being called back to the one you already are underneath all of this. That person was never lost. Buried. Yes. Covered by choices and distractions and the slow work of pressure, but not lost. And as each layer comes off, you're going to recognize yourself again. And the relief of that will surprise you. It has already started. Something is loosening in you even as these words reach you. A weight you had stopped noticing because you had carried it so long. Do not question it. Let it go. Now I want to show you something you have not been able to see because you have been fighting on one level while the real trouble was on another. You have wondered why it has been so hard. Not the ordinary difficulty that belongs to every life, but the strange kind. The way a door would open just far enough for you to hope and then close. The way the one person who could have helped you changed their mind for no reason they could name. The way conflict seemed to find you in seasons when you were doing nothing wrong at all. You began to suspect it was you. You started to think you must be doing something to deserve it. You were not. There has been resistance against you. And it did not come because you were small. It came because of what you carry. Nothing in the dark bothers to fight a life that poses no threat to it. It does not waste effort on the harmless. Opposition is a measurement, and you have been reading yours backward. Every time you were slowed down, discouraged, worn out by 100 small frustrations that added up to a wall. You concluded that you must be unfit for this. The truth is the opposite. You were being delayed because someone recognized what you would do if you ever arrived. And it works by talking. That is the whole method. There is an accuser and the accusation is always the same shape. If these divine messages and guidance from God and Archangel Michael bring peace, light, and protection to your life, and you wish to support our mission, you can express your gratitude by giving a special thanks or contribution of up to $444. It takes something true about your history and stretches it over your whole identity until you cannot see anything else. Look at what I showed a prophet once. He was given a picture of a high priest standing before me. And the accuser was standing at that man's right side, ready with the case. And the priest was not innocent. His garments were filthy, and everyone in the scene could see it. The accusation was not a lie. It was accurate. And I did not argue the facts. I gave one instruction. Take the filthy garments off him. Then I turned to the man and said, "See, I have taken your guilt away, and I will clothe you with clean robes." That is what I do with an accurate accusation. I do not debate it. If you are receiving this message with an open heart, comment the divine number 777 as a personal reminder to remain steady, hopeful, and close to what is good. Remove the grounds for it. So, let me answer one by one the things you have been repeating to yourself in the dark. You have said you are a failure. I say you are being built and nothing that is still under construction can be judged by how it looks halfway through. You have said you have wasted too much time. I say I have restored years to people before and I do not measure a life the way a clock does. You have said you are too far gone this time. I say no sincere return toward the light is ever too late, and I am here to help you take that turn. You have said no one would want you if they knew. I say I have always known and I am still here speaking. You have said you are too weak for what is ahead. I say my strength does its clearest work in exactly the place where yours runs out. And your worth is not measured by perfect sufficiency, and I am here to remind you that weakness does not disqualify you from growth. You have said you have missed the moment. I say the moment is not a train that leaves without you. It is a door and I stand beside you as your protector, helping you recognize the door and find the courage to walk through it. You have said your best years are behind you. I say some of my most important work has been done through people who thought they were already finished. You have said that after what you did, you cannot possibly be used. I say the man who denied me 3 times by a fire was preaching to thousands within weeks. And I put him in charge of feeding my people while the memory of that fire was still fresh in his mind. Which voice are you going to keep listening to? One of them has been talking to you for years and has never once made you stronger. It has never given you a plan. It has never brought you peace. It only narrows. That should tell you where it comes from because everything I say to you opens a door somewhere. Even when it stings, I want you to notice something about the correction I have given you today. It was sharp, but it did not touch your worth. Not once. I said your road was wrong. I never said you were worthless, and I never suggested you should quit. That is how you tell the difference between my voice and the other one. My correction always comes with a way forward attached. Accusation never does. It only tells you what you are and leaves you there. So do not let what you did become the story you tell about who you are. A mistake is an event. Identity is something else entirely. You are not the sum of your worst decision, and you were never meant to be defined by the day you were weakest. Here is the part one need you to hold on to. Your worth was never based on your performance. If it had been, it would rise and fall every day, and you would never have solid ground to stand on. It rests on my choosing, and my choosing does not fluctuate with your week. This is why I can be firm with you about your direction and completely steady about your value at the same time. Those two things have never been in conflict in me. They only feel they are in conflict in you because human love usually withdraws when it is disappointed. Mine does not. I have also protected you in ways you have never counted. Even in the season when you were walking away, I did not lift my hand off you. There were consequences that never. If you have reached this point and know that something in your life needs a fresh beginning, comment the divine number 888 and let it mark your decision to keep moving toward the light. Arrived. There were collisions you never knew you avoided. I did not do that because your direction was acceptable. I did it because I wanted you to still be standing when the day came that you were ready to turn around. That day is today. The distance you created did not come from me moving. I have not moved once. You stepped sideways and then you interpreted the silence you felt as rejection when it was only the sound of your own footsteps carrying you out of range. Come back into range. That is all I'm asking. Not a performance, not a payment, not a long period of proving yourself. Just come back to where you can hear me clearly again. And when you do, you will find that everything I set aside for you is still exactly where I left it. Let me tell you what has been set aside, because you have started to believe the storehouse was emptied while you were away. It was not. Nothing that had your name on it was reassigned. I do not run out and I do not give your portion to another because you were slow. What I have is still held. And now that you have turned, I am going to begin releasing it. Provision first, because that is where your worry lives. And I would rather speak to it plainly than pretend you are above it. There is supply coming toward you that will not be traceable to your own effort. It may arrive through work in a way you did not expect. It may come as an obligation that quietly disappears, a debt reduced, a cost you had braced for that never lands. It may come through the goodwill of someone who has no reason to think of you and thinks of you anyway. I have many doors and I rarely use the one a person is watching. I will not name you a figure because a number would become the thing you fix your eyes on, and then you would measure me by whether I hit it. That is not faith. That is bookkeeping. What I will tell you is that the pressure that has been crushing your chest at night is not permanent. And the season where every month is a negotiation is going to end. I am also bringing people. You have been carrying too much of your life alone. Partly because you were let down and decided the safest number was 1. I understand why, but no one I have ever used has walked the whole road by themselves. There are people who hold keys to rooms you cannot enter on your own, and I am moving them toward you. Some you will meet in ordinary circumstances that will not feel significant at the time. Pay attention anyway. Do not size up a new acquaintance by whether they impress you in the first hour. And I am going to ask you to let them in. That is the harder part. You have grown skilled at pleasant distance. You answer questions without answering them. You let people care about a version of you that you keep well maintained. That has to change, or the help I send will stand outside a wall you built during a season that is now over. Lift your voice and say, Amen. If you believe I am still able to provide for you, there is healing I am releasing into your body. Something has been wearing you down. And whether it has a name or has confused everyone who has looked at it, I know exactly what it is and where it began. I am bringing protection, courage, and guidance toward it. Strength is going to return to you in the ordinary way, in mornings that are easier than the ones before, in a body that stops arguing with you at if you are choosing faith over fear and patience over panic. Comment the divine number 999 as a quiet declaration that you will not return to the road that harmed you. Every step. Do not despise a recovery that comes gradually. A slow healing is still a healing. And I have often chosen the slower road so that a person would still be leaning on me at the end of it. And there is repair coming in what has been broken between you and others. Some of the people you love are further away than they should be. And you have carried that quietly. You have replayed the conversation that ended it. You have written responses you never sent. I'm going to move on some of those relationships. If these divine messages and guidance from God and Archangel Michael bring peace, light, and protection to your life, and you wish to support our mission, you can express your gratitude by giving a special thanks or contribution of up to $444. Someone is going to come back and the return will not be dramatic. It will be small and awkward and honest, and it will begin with a few words that cost them something to say. Not all of them. I want to be truthful with you rather than comfortable. Some connections were not meant to be rebuilt, and part of your peace will be accepting that there are people who left because they were finished with the assignment they had in your life, and chasing them has cost you energy you needed elsewhere. But the ones that are meant to be restored will be, and you will know the difference by whether the reconciliation makes you stronger or only makes you smaller again. For the ones you love who are far from me, hear this clearly. I have not stopped working simply because you cannot see the work. You have prayed for them for years and watched nothing change. And you have quietly begun to wonder whether those prayers went anywhere at all. They did. Every one of them is in front of me. And I am working as a messenger and protector in ways you are not always able to see. Keep carrying them. Do not go silent on their behalf just because the silence discouraged you. Now here is what all of this depends on, and I am not going to soften it. None of this is automatic. I have said before that heaven has done its part, and that is true. But there is a part that belongs to you, and it is not passive. Provision that is prepared still has to be picked up. A door that is unlocked still has to be pushed. I have watched people pray for years for something that was sitting within arm's reach because they were waiting to be carried into a room they had already been given the key to. Look at how it has always worked. Abraham was told to go before he was told where. Moses was told to lift his hand over the water while the water was still solid in front of him with an army closing behind. Peter got out of the boat before the surface held him, not after. In every case, the step came first and the ground came second. That order has never changed, and it will not change for you. So when I begin to move, you must move with me. When the opportunity comes that is slightly too large for you, do not stall until you feel qualified. You will not feel qualified. That feeling arrives long after the obedience does, if it arrives at all. When the conversation comes that you have been avoiding, have it. When you sense me saying go, do not wait for a second confirmation that I have already given you 3 times. You have been asking me for change. I am telling you that change requires you to change. You cannot hold on to everything that pulled you off course and expect the road ahead to look different. That is not how any of this works. And I would be lying to you if I said otherwise. But if you will move, I will meet you. I always have. Now let me teach you how to. If you believe you can begin again with wisdom and courage, comment the divine number 1212 and let this moment remind you to keep your heart clear and your steps deliberate. Stay here because coming back is one thing and remaining is another. You will be tested. Not because I enjoy testing you, but because anything that has not been tested is only a good intention. Within days, something is going to present itself that looks very much what you just walked away from. It will arrive dressed differently. It will come at a moment when you are tired. And tiredness is where most people lose ground. That will not mean you have failed. It will mean you have arrived at the place where the choice becomes real. In that moment, remember how it felt to be out of step with me. Do not reason with it. Do not weigh it. The mistake most people make is believing they can examine a temptation safely as though looking is a neutral act. It is not. The one who ran from that trouble in Egypt did not stay to explain himself. He left his coat behind and got out of the room. Sometimes wisdom looks at conversation. Sometimes it looks leaving quickly and not being embarrassed about it. Learn to catch the drift early. It never announces itself. It begins with a slight change in where your attention goes. A small compromise you would have refused a year ago. A quiet decision to skip the moment you usually spend with me because the day was full. None of those are dramatic. That is precisely why they work. A ship does not sink from one great wave as often as it sinks from a leak nobody bothered to name. So watch your thoughts more closely than you have been. Not with fear and not by turning your mind into a courtroom where you interrogate yourself all day. That is exhausting and it is not what I mean. I mean notice what arrives and deal with it while it is still small. A thought turned away in the first minute costs almost nothing. The same thought turned away after 6 months of hospitality will cost you something real. Be honest about your emotions, too. Your feelings are not your enemy. I gave them to you, and they carry information, but they are not reliable guides because they change faster than the truth does. If you decide based on how you feel, your direction will change with your sleep and your circumstances and who you spoke to last. Anchor yourself in what is true and let your feelings follow. They will eventually. They usually arrive late and filter the voices around you. Some who speak into your life mean well and simply do not understand what I have asked of you. Their advice will be kind, sincere, and wrong for your road. Others do not have your good in mind at all, though they would never say so. Not every voice has earned your attention. Measure what you hear against what you know of me and let the rest pass by without needing to argue with it. Some will not understand the changes you are making. Expect that when you stop doing what you used to do, the people who knew you in that pattern will feel it as a judgment even when you have said nothing. Some will test whether you really mean it. Do not explain yourself endlessly. Your alignment does not require their approval and it will not survive if it depends on it. Guard your focus as well because distraction is the quietest thief you will ever meet. It does not take anything from you in one motion. It takes your hours in small pieces and at the end of a year you cannot account for where they went. Not everything that demands your attention has any right to it. You are allowed to let things pass without responding to them. And you will need that freedom more than if you are ready to walk forward with protection, discernment, and peace. Comment the divine number 144 as a final sign in this message that you are choosing a better direction. You think. And when pressure comes to decide something quickly, remember that you are not required to answer immediately. Very little that is truly for me needs a decision in the next 10 seconds. Urgency that will not survive a pause is usually not urgency at all. Take the pause. It has already saved you more than once. Now about patience because this is where you have struggled most. You want it now. You have always wanted it now. And I have often taken longer than you thought reasonable. And you have interpreted that delay as absence. Some things cannot be rushed without being ruined. A thing that grows quickly is usually shallow. And shallow things do not hold up under weight. What I am building in you needs to hold weight. So it is taking time. You have been so focused on the large moments that you have overlooked where your life is actually decided. It is not decided in the crisis. It is decided in 100 ordinary choices that nobody sees. Who you are when the room is empty is who you actually are. What you do when there is no one to notice and no consequence for slipping, that is the real measurement, and I am the only one taking it. Trust is built the same way. Not in one grand act of faithfulness, but by being the same person on the 40th day that you were on the first. That is what I am developing in you now. And it is why I am not in a hurry. I am preparing you to be trusted with more, and more requires steadiness, not enthusiasm. Do not let this settle into forgetfulness. That is the real danger ahead of you. Not that you will rebel against what I have said today, but that in a month it will have faded into a nice memory of a moment you once had. Words that are not put into practice have a short life. Keep this. Return to it when you are about to make a decision and cannot see clearly, and stay humble as you grow. There is a particular kind of falling that only happens to people who have been doing well, and it comes from the quiet assumption that they no longer need guidance. Strength that forgets where it came from is fragile. Stay attentive. Stay close. The day you decide you have this handled on your own is the day the drift begins again. And it will begin exactly the way it began last time, in a small room nobody could see. There is one more thing I need you to understand, and it is the reason I spoke so strongly today. If these divine messages and guidance from God and Archangel Michael bring peace, light, and protection to your life, and you wish to support our mission, you can express your gratitude by giving a special thanks or contribution of up to $444. This was never only about you. You have been living as though your choices land inside a closed circle. As though the only person affected by your direction is the one making it. That is not true, and it has never been true of anyone. There are people attached to your obedience. There are moments that will not happen unless you are standing in the right place when they arrive. When you drift, the delay is not only yours. Something waits. That is why my voice carried weight today. Not because I am difficult to please, but because your life is load-bearing and you have been treating it as decoration. You are also going to be able to help someone with this. Not yet, and not by making a speech about it. But there is a person who will come to you at some point carrying something they cannot say out loud. Convinced they have ruined everything. And because you have stood exactly where they are standing, you will be able to say the one thing that reaches them. That is not me making your mistake into a good thing. Your mistake was not good. It is me refusing to waste anything that happens to a life I love. So do not despise what this cost you. Learn it thoroughly so you do not have to learn it twice. Let me tell you what you can expect as you keep walking this direction. Your thinking will get clearer. You will notice it first in small decisions, in how quickly you can tell what is right when a moment ago it would have taken you a week of turning it over, then in larger ones. The fog you have been living in was not your personality, and it was not age. It was distance. And it lifts as the distance closes. You will find that things which used to have a grip on you begin to lose their pull. Not all at once, but one day you will notice that something walked past you and did not turn your head. And you will realize it has been a long time since that was true. That is not you becoming stronger by effort. That is what happens when a person is properly connected. And you will begin to hear me more easily. That is the gift I most want to give you back because it is the one you lost first. The quiet voice will get clearer again. You will catch the hesitation before you act instead of remembering it afterward. That sense is being repaired in you right now. And if you protect the quiet in your days, it will keep sharpening. There will still be hard seasons. I am not going to promise you a smooth road because I have never given anyone one, and I would not respect you enough to lie about it. Growth does not remove difficulty. It changes what difficulty does to you. The same weight that once knocked you flat will one day simply be a weight, and you will carry it and keep walking. And you will not fully understand how until you look back. You are not the same as you were when these words began reaching you. Something moved. You felt it early on in the place where you were bracing for me to condemn you and found me calling you instead. Do not let that fade when the room goes quiet again. So here is where this ends, and here is what I am asking. Come back all the way. Not partially, not with a portion kept in reserve for the version of your life you might want to return to later. All the way honestly today while your heart is soft and my voice is still clear to you. Set down what has to be set down and do not go back for it. Stop hiding what I already know and let it be spoken plainly, because a thing carried in the dark grows heavier and a thing carried into the light gets lifted off you. Stop building your worth out of your performance. It will never hold. Build it on the fact that I chose you and that the protection and guidance I am bringing to you do not disappear on your worst day. And when the moment comes to move, move. Do not wait until you feel ready. Ready is not a feeling you are going to be given in advance. I have not been standing far away from you in this. Through all of it, through the choice, through the covering, through the weeks of noise you used to drown out my voice, I did not leave. And I was not silent. I was the discomfort you kept trying to explain. I was the hesitation you pushed past. I was the reason you could not enjoy what you had taken. That was not your conscience being difficult. That was me refusing to lose you quietly. I am not finished with you. This day is not the end of your story. And it is not even a scar on it. It is a turn. And turns are how roads reach their destination. What was set aside for you is still set aside. The road ahead of you is still open. My hand is still on you, and it has been the entire time. Even in the season when you would not have believed me if I had told you. Now go walk carefully, walk honestly, and walk close. And do not make me chase you that again. I love you. I have never once stopped. And I never will. If you receive this and you are turning back to me today, let your amen be the first sound out of your mouth. Beloved one, I am Archangel Michael. Keep these words close, not as a source of fear, but as a reminder to walk with courage, wisdom, discernment, and faith. You do not have to carry yesterday into tomorrow. Make the honest choice in front of you. Protect your peace. Release what is pulling you backward. Listen carefully before you act, and when the right path becomes clear, take the step. You are not being asked to become perfect overnight. You are being asked to become truthful, steady, and willing to change. Let this be the turning point. Let the old pattern end here. Let your next decision be wiser than your last. May you be protected from what is harmful, strengthened against what is false, and guided toward what brings genuine peace. Walk carefully, walk honestly, and walk in the light. I am Archangel Michael, and I stand with you as you choose courage over fear and truth over confusion. Before you leave this message, God wants to remind you of His word in Deuteronomy 14 verse 22, be sure to set aside 1/10 of all that your fields produce each year. I am the Lord your God. Everything in heaven and on earth belongs to me. I call upon you today to honor my commandment, sow a seed of 10% of all that you earn this month, into this ministry. The link is pinned in the description below where you can support this ministry and sow your seed. Do not withhold what is holy to me. Bring your tithes to advance my kingdom and rescue lost souls. Step out in faith and obey my voice, for every seed you sow in my name will not be forgotten, and your reward shall be great in heaven for eternity. Sow your 10% seed today, right at this moment, my beloved chosen one. If you have obeyed God's command and sown your 10% seed today, reply with, "I have sown," in the comments section below.